it'll probably be
He'd
me,
probably
but...
be up for photobombing too, yes. That's actually his role, he's in trolling and photobombing. Well done.
Is that your department?
It is, he's the Department of Trolling, it's like, we're like the British government now.
That would be the most...
Thumper, Department, Trolling, and Photobombing.
So some of the other things, okay, so we talked about some of the main spaces. Obviously, you've been to registration. ConOps and security are up in, what do you call it, the entry level? No, the lobby level.
Lobby level.
That's what they're calling it, the lobby level. So second floor, effectively. That's where also a lot of the programming is too. That's what a lot of folks end up doing during their first convention. You're learning things about how do I make a fursuit, how do I commission things, how do I draw, what are some tips and tricks for writing stories, that sort of stuff. There's a lot of those things scattered really throughout the hotel, but mostly down on that side over there. So fortunately, nobody has to leave the hotel to do any programming. But again, that's what SCED is. You're going to see in the SCED app, so sced.furfest.org, or within the Pocket Guide. Just opportunities to learn different things. And again, all these panelists are just volunteers. And so we've had a lot of folks in the past who ran panels because they said, yeah, I'd like to run a panel on fursuit construction, or I'd like to talk about blah. And we're able to generally go through our very large list of submissions and hopefully be able to schedule some of those things. So the panelists are just regular folks. We're all actually just regular folks as well who run things. So if you have some ideas for anything that you'd like to maybe try and help out with next year, we're happy to entertain all those things.
So I actually, as I was on my way over here, somebody stopped me because they thought I looked official, which was silly. And
it's the shirt. It's a great shirt.
It is a nice shirt. And you can buy this shirt right outside at our beautiful con suite. So please check them out later.
It's the worst plug ever.
I forgot to mention it at opening ceremony. As I walked out there, they're right there. I'm like, oh, now I feel bad. So anyway, so we were standing outside of security, which is of course located on the lobby level of the domed conference center. And someone there turned to me and said, hey, do you know where LAX is? I was like, oh yeah, totally, because I look over and I see one of the rooms. I'm like, okay, cool. So this is a city that is east of the Mississippi, which means that the floor you're looking for is LAX, which is west of the Mississippi. So it's down one floor. They're like, what? I'm like, there's actually a weird, cool system to the way the rooms are laid out. Obviously, there are the digital maps all over the building that show you where things are, and we've got our little maps here. But it's neat. They divide the Domed Conference Center up between American cities, airport names, east and west of the Mississippi, and then down on the lower levels, which matter a little bit less, are the international cities, and then all of the Artist Alley are actually city airports rather than like Charles de Gaulle is a big airport, but it's not the city airport. There's also the Paris airport, which is part of our style. It's actually a really neat system that they have.
How did you know this? I've been doing programming for like 5 years here. I had no, I just like, there's airports all over the hotel.
Airports everywhere.
I had no idea there was a system.
There's a method to the madness.
See, I'm learning stuff here. This is actually...
Welcome to your first con.
Oh, it's like I've been sleeping for so long. That's interesting. Actually, I did not know that.
Yep, that's really neat.
I know, right?
And then there's the tech center, which...
Yeah, tech center is just tech.
Just tech center.
So, but that's the thing, there's a lot of these different rooms, and you can see actually what's going on. Again, I'm only plugging SCED because it's the most accurate place. A lot of things shift. Some folks get their travel delayed, some folks aren't able to make it, and so we have to cancel or change some panels. So that's why we push the digital one. It's really easy for us to change the digital schedule, but you can also build a personal schedule, which is really kind of cool, because if you sign up for a panel on the app and we have to move it or change it, it will email you and give you the information automatically. So it's kind of cool. I think it's neat.
It's also neat because like in the mornings when you wake up and stare at your smartphone, you get a personal detailed itinerary of the day of all the things that you mentioned interest in, you want to check out, and where they're located, so that you know right from the start of the day, you can check your phone and it tells you, hey, these are the things you want to check out, don't miss them.
Excellent. Okay, so a few other things. Anybody at the dance last night? Excellent. Okay, so there'll be dances every night. I call it the best dances, and I don't want to say best because they're all good. The better dances, or the bigger dances, maybe a better way of putting it, will be tonight and tomorrow night. And they'll be in the same room here. And again, massive kudos to the audio folks at the back. AV team has been just brilliant, again, in helping us to get this up and going. It's a lot of work to do these types of conventions. But I mean, it's I don't know, it's one of those labors of love that you just enjoy throwing a party for your friends, is the best way of putting it. So the dances are, you are trolling.
Hi, Turk. Turk, say hi. Everybody turn around and see Turk, he's waving.
Hey, Turk.
Hi.
Turk's a professional. He does this for a living. That's why we love him so much, because it's amazing.
He does a great job.
When you put Turk and Audie together on something like this, not only does it make people who do not look good or sound good normally look good and sound good like us,
Oh yeah.
but it makes dances absolutely amazing. So come on out tonight and check that
No,
out. You
seriously,
will
you
not
should
be
see these
disappointed.
guys out there. The natural light is crazy.
It is. We're hideous demons. It's just, I don't know, whatever we do on stage, we're better up here. Maybe. So there's also a bunch of competition. So there's a fursuit dance competition as well. Yeah, it's going to be in here on Sunday at 1:30. There's tryouts tonight at 7 o'clock in the Rosemont Ballroom on the other side. There's actually a whole bunch of stuff around dancing at this convention. It seems to be one of the things that a lot of folks like to do. I love to watch them, so that's awesome. I think that's pretty cool. So there's a lot of those little things that, I say little, except they'll be full of lots of people that are going on during the convention itself.
Hundreds and hundreds slash thousands.
Thousands of people. So let's see here. There's a number of big events as well during the convention, of course. We have a lot of stuff to help the charity out. One of the things a lot of conventions do, not just us, is we will basically take a lot of the donations over the course of the weekend, maybe some of the other activities we're doing to help raise money, and we end up helping the charity effectively with whatever their mission is. And I think this year it's obviously spectacular. We got Save
Oh
events.
my goodness, these people are amazing.
It really is actually. If you haven't seen them yet, they're right outside the door here. You don't have to necessarily donate to talk to them. I think it is always helpful, of course, because I think they've got a very, very good cause. But a lot of conventions do this. We've been very fortunate over the past, 12, 15 years? Oh my gosh, 15 years. So I think we've donated about $230,000 to charities in Illinois in that period of time. And it's not us as much as it is the attendees, you guys, helping this. So that's awesome. I think that's a really, really good way to help the community out. Make an impact.
So did you see what the current figure is for all conventions combined at this point now?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
So we're up to, between all the different furry conventions in the world that have been doing this for 15, 16, 20 years,
Yeah.
we're up to, presently, $1.6 million
Oh,
raised for charities around the world just by people coming to things like this. How amazing is that? That's unbelievable. It's so cool.
And you thought you were just coming here to have a good time.
apparently you can do both.
That's one of the things that I think escapes a lot of the people, especially those that you may know who think you're weird for coming here. Those two statistics right there are fantastic things to take home with you when you participate actively in this community and find ways to spend money in the artist alley, in the dealer's den, with the vendors here. Support your people, support our community, because there's a lot of hardworking artists who frankly give away art and everything they produce dirt cheap compared to the real world.
Oh yeah.
But you know, keep that extra $5 handy and give to the charity, because especially the charity that we have here this year. How many guys know who our charity is this year? Anybody at opening ceremonies? Yeah, it's a fantastic group of people who they rescue otherwise condemned former service animals. And at the same time help out our veterans. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 of amazing cause. If there was ever a place to shove a $5, $10, $20 bill, especially at a convention, it's in their donation jar.
It always goes to a good place, and we've been very fortunate with that in the past. So that's a big one. Charities in general, I think we do a lot of stuff. Actually, by the way, Woody, you were hitting on this. If this is your first con, and when I did this a million years ago, again, back when we were riding dinosaurs, people would be like, "What are you doing? What? You did wait? What?"
Cody had a dinosaur fursuit.
That'd be funny. No, but it's a good way to explain what you're doing to other folks I found in the past. It's like, no, I'm going to hang out with 5,000 friends from 20 countries who donate $230,000 to charity, and people go, "Oh, that's interesting. What?" And it's just, I'm not saying you need to necessarily spin it around like that, but this is the community we're a part of here, and I don't feel we should feel any level of shame or embarrassment or any of that kind of stuff. Granted, what we do is a little bit weird. I'm very weird. But a lot of people are weird, actually. And if you look back at some of your coworkers and things, that was kind of weird, really, when you think about it.
I don't know, because I get back from these weekends and I talk to my coworkers and they're like, "Oh, what'd you do this weekend?" It's like, "Oh, well, this weekend I flew to Las Vegas with a bunch of friends and we fursuited on the Las Vegas Strip in a limousine."
Yeah.
And like, "Oh, cool, I cut the lawn and my kids had a Little League game."
One of my kids was sick, and I had to go and take the kids to the hospital, and you're like, "Oh."
They only call you weird because their lives are boring.
They really are.
Touché.
Bold statement, but yes, true.
No, I agree with that. I think as we get bigger and as we do a lot of these bigger things, I don't think there's anything for us to really feel embarrassed about. Again, it's silliness, but there's a lot of really good things. Cons mean a lot to me, and I think one of the reasons I volunteer in these things is you get an opportunity to see people. I've been doing this long enough, I guess, actually for programming in itself. I've been doing this for 5 years now, and I've watched the progression of people who've gone from an attendee to the convention to I'd like to run a panel. And that's maybe the first opportunity somebody gets that first push of confidence that, oh my gosh, I can actually talk in front of people listen to me. And you watch them evolve over the years, and it's a confidence that goes into their work life. Maybe it helps them get promoted. Maybe it helps them be able to meet other friends and talk to other people. Maybe it's fascinating for me to watch the progression of people over the years in this community as you go to these events, as you start to, do different things and grow as a person. So I'm not gonna go and make this all mushy and gooey.
No,
but
it's true. I was talking to one of our guests of honor last night. I'm going to mispronounce her name because they keep doing that. IFIS?
Yeah.
Not IFIS.
IFIS.
So, she's a local. She's a phenomenally talented artist. I adore her. And she was saying, this is her con. This is her local con, and she absolutely loves it. And she's been going for many, many years now, and she has seen herself and her friends grow as people by being part of this community, by supporting each other, by coming out to this event and others like it, and getting on that exact track of like, hey, I found some people I really like doing this panel, and like we keep hanging out, and then the next con, maybe they want to kind of do a panel of their own, and now she's, so many years later, she's guest of honor. She's just practically in tears over the fact that like so much has happened, all thanks to Midwest Furfest.
Well, and just cons in general. So I mean, that's I think why some of us become very protective of the community and what we're doing here, despite it being weird. And yeah, of course it's weird. But there's a lot of opportunity for people to be able to get a lot of cool things. And even if it's just as simple as I'm going to go roam around the lobby and hang out with friends or go and see the city of Chicago, which by the way is kind of a cool city. Those are great opportunities.
Not that you're biased, no.
No, not that I'm biased. Not that I live in Chicago and I'm completely biased on that. But
How many of you found the fandom online? I guess, so maybe this is the inverse. How many of you are here, this is your first convention, and this is your first exposure to the fandom, to the furry fandom? Just a few of you. Yeah, so for those of you who are here in person for the first time, it's probably going to be a little bit different experience than the rest of you who have a digital background where you probably know a bunch of people around here, right? I mean, how many people know like 5 or more people at this convention before you even came here because you talked to them online? Okay, so put your phone in your pocket. Don't spend the whole convention in your room on a computer. There are 5,000 people like you, us, wandering around. Say hi to the fursuiters, take their pictures, say hi to the non-fursuiters. Go to the panels, hang around with the people at the panels with like interests, and talk to them too. I understand that we all come from sort of a biased background towards being sort of shy, introverted, and not particularly communicative. Get over that right now. You're among friends. Let it down and have a good time here, and talk to people and get to know people. It doesn't matter how weird or awkward you feel, just do it. I guarantee you, if you spend the next 5 years going to conventions trying to figure out how to not be awkward, you will rue the day you did not start being social right here at this convention and have 100 more times friends that you thought you would have had and having an amazing time. I just came from a panel that we were just getting ready to set up with Cosmic. He was doing the Vine panel. He's 19, he's been a furry since he's 16. He's been in the fandom for 3 years. He's running panels, and how many people here know who Cosmic is? Yeah, okay, see. So, where did we start? I've been doing this for 18 years, and I didn't know a darn thing when I started. Cody's been doing it for 16 years. And we've both been guest of honor at cons, and we're on staff at cons, and this is how this works. We make this happen. We're not up here getting paid. We're not This is thank you.
That'd be sweet if I did, though.
Applause from the dogs. That's how it
Lots of
works.
sweet ass money.
Yeah, you don't. Hey,
Those are
I
some.
work at conventions, so I understand.
there you go. So this is the evolution. It starts today, and it starts by coming out of your shell, talking to people, having a good time, finding what you like, and running with it, and just have fun. Because believe me, the real world is waiting for you after this. So don't waste a minute here.
Wow.
And here you were gonna not have him come on stage. You're like, no, he kind of smells.
I know, I'm like, yeah, nothing doesn't talk.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was up here to troll. So Cody smells,
Oh, come on.
and you're welcome to call him Stinky Cody because that's what we all call him.
That's a very effective trolling. Well done.
Well trolled, sir.
All right, not that I'm changing the topic subtly or abruptly for any particular reason, but we did also want to talk about the what we call it, the Furfest Lounge, which is an opportunity. This is unique maybe to our convention. There are a few others that do it, but it's hard when you get to a convention this size to make the numbers work and not have everything else get destroyed. But we will offer you snacks and drinks and things like that throughout the convention, as well as just a place to hang out right next door as well. Now, we do encourage you, of course, to buy stuff at the hotel or to buy food at other places. And there are restaurants nearby. There's everything from McDonald's just down the street to more posh, fancier restaurants by the skating rink over at the Rosebud area over there.
All of which you can find in your handy-dandy restaurant guide, which I don't have one in front of me.
Yes.
Also available in registration if you don't have one of those.
Yeah, so there's a printed restaurant guide as well. I mean, you have a Yelp, and most of you who have mobile phones can probably figure that out. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do in the hotel itself, as well as going out there to do stuff. It's kind of cool. I mean, if you haven't seen, anyone seen the soda machine yet? Like, we actually have a machine that dispenses soda.
They're on the soda machine.
I don't know if we are anymore. I mean,
Cody was Diet Pepsi this morning.
I think they
Yes.
rolled those off
No,
yesterday.
you're on there.
Are they early?
The new ones went on.
Oh, new stickers?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still on there.
You're still on there. You're still running things.
Oh my god, I feel so good. Okay, yeah, so I'm not even plugging myself. There's soda and stuff next door, pretty much available all the time.
What are you, Woody? Sierra Mist.
I am, I think I'm Cherry Coke.
Cherry Coke, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So there's a food and
Please.
beverage. And that's part of it. You do want to make sure you're eating, obviously. Let's see here.
I mean, it's also just a great hangout space with ample seating, which
Yes.
can sometimes be hard to find throughout the rest of the hotel with all of the crowds and masses.
We are. Yeah, I was going to say, actually, so I think this is a good opportunity. If anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask, we're happy to go do that. We're going to send Robic Microphone Thumper out there to go and...
This is your opportunity to come out of your show because I know you all want to sit there quietly. I have to come out here because I can't see you. So, yes, ask a question, please.
This is my third furry convention since AnthroCon, and I've just been trying to find a group to hang with. What's your advice on that?
Okay, so what I'd start with is there's a wide variety of programming available. Do you have other social interests? I'm sorry. Oh, good icebreaker. Well, I wouldn't start with did the stars fall out of the sky because they're in your.
What?
That may or may not work.
Are you seriously giving, like, pickup advice?
Tell them to troll.
So now he's...
I know, right?
So an interesting thing is that I have made friends by just going like into the lounge next door. I appreciate artists, and there tends to be a lot of artists who hang out wherever you can find an open table. And there are lots of open tables next door in the lounge. And one thing I found is I can sit down and start having a conversation with an artist, ask you, say, hey, what are you drawing, or where are you from? Where are you from is an interesting one to start with because
Yes.
you come from a very, very diverse like geographical distribution as far as furries. I have a number of hobbies I'm interested in. I'm into aviation and skydiving.
And where are you from, by the way,
All kinds of stuff
Thumper?
like that. I'm from Vancouver, Washington. So that's Vancouver, not BC, Washington, not DC, from the West Coast. So what you'll find is that if you just start with what seems like pretty banal conversation, just like the weather and where are you from, that kind of thing, you'll find you probably have more similarities with that person sitting next to you than you ever possibly imagined. One of the key things is that, again, the reason I say you gotta come out of your shell is you have to say, hey, I'm into X. And they may say, huh? And that means move on. Or they may be like, that's very interesting, or I like that too. Like, I ran into a fursuiter last night and I said, hey, may I take your picture? And I put him up in front of the carrot vase thing that hangs in the middle of those walls up on the main floor there.
Worst description ever.
What is he talking about?
And I took his picture. I asked him to take his picture. I took his picture and I asked him what his Twitter name was because I wanted to tweet his photo at him, which is a nice thing to do because how many people here are fursuiters, by the way? You will have 10,000 pictures taken of you and you will only see one of them. So if you're kind enough to take people's pictures, ask them what their Twitter handle or FA or something is so you can post it at them because they will really love you for that later. I do. But I found, so this other fursuiter walked up and very rudely jumped in front of us because he's a funny and crazy guy, but his name was peanut butter cup or something like that. And I was like, stay away from me, you dirty fursuiter, because I'm allergic to peanut butter. And the fursuiter who I was taking a picture of said, hey, I'm allergic to peanut butter too. And we ended up having a conversation for like a half hour and hanging out like half the night. So
awesome.
it can happen just like that, right?
There you go. A deadly peanut allergy can make you friends.
It can also kill you.
There's that. You know, whatever. At least you
Minor
died.
trade-off.
All right. Any other questions? Anything else? Any other questions from anybody else?
I can't speak for anybody else, but I know that this is my first time actually coming to any kind of a convention like this. Woo!
Yeah.
Do you have any questions do you have any advice on how to kind of blend in and get along with the crowd and get out of the whole shell thing? It's kind of a little overwhelming.
How many people came here to blend in?
I kind of like the part if possible.
That's a very interesting question.
Well, so you're looking at ways to kind of reach out and get more. Well, so certainly going to panels I find is actually an interesting way for your first convention to do that. If you find something, that's actually a good way to start too. If you're looking at the schedule and you're thinking, okay, that's kind of interesting.
How many people have looked at the programming schedule yet, by the way, if you're sitting here?
Okay, there's a lot.
How many people have found a subject, not like explicitly furry related, that's interesting to them? You could go to those panels. Like, I'm a big aviation enthusiast. Jet and others run great like aviation panels here. The flying first panel. Those are a lot of fun.
90% of these panels are actually in rooms with maybe 15 or 20 people. So it's not as overwhelming. And it's people who are interested in the same thing. And actually the funny thing is, more often than not, half of those rooms are full of people who it's their first time as well. Everybody's feeling exactly the same way. I know I was. I probably still kind of do when I go to conventions. It's a good way to meet people who are at least interested. A lot of these panels get very interactive, so you're able to ask questions and have conversations. So that's a good way to find that common interest. The lounge next door, again, another excellent way to do that. I find people meet in like the fursuit green room as well. Often people, when you're changing, it's, oh, I like your suit, or oh, you really reek. Number.
Hey, so he jokes and gosh, that's a hard one. If you're not used to coming out of your shell, this is a hard one to do, but I have absolutely no filter. So I am perfectly fine with going up to people who have terrible breath or their suit smells absolutely atrocious and saying, that's a fantastic suit, and then like pull them aside like where nobody else is gonna see it here and say, go take care of your business. Yeah. And
I'll tell you what. Like in full Asperger mode, going, your suit's cute, you stink.
So,
like, oh,
that would be rude.
It would be rude, but it'd be funny.
You may see them again, and they probably wouldn't like you, but there's 4,999 at least other people, so I guess you can do that if you really want to. But actually, some people will thank you for that. I mean, it's not easy to hear that kind of thing from people, but would you rather walk around stinking? You're not going to make a lot of friends.
No.
You're stinking.
That's an easy fix, by the way, for new suitors out there. Things like Febreze actually help quite a bit with that stuff. And I thought actually some people use dryer sheets in the suits while they're drying, and you get a really nice, just general overall smell. But that also comes with the just keeping yourself hydrated properly as you're performing and making sure that you give yourself a chance to shower and break and whatnot. So
How many people are here in this room are not from the Chicago area? Okay. One thing that will catch up with you, especially if you're suiting, gosh, suiters, man, mind your hydration. But even if you're not suiting, mind your hydration. It is really dry and cold here in winter.
It's winter.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have like no skin left on my hands. It's all cracked and falling off because it's so dry here. So like, hydrate, just get a cup of water in the back of the room or in the hall and just do that.
There's
Please.
definitely-
You get headaches, you get lethargic, you get tired, you get irritable very fast from being dehydrated. It's a very simple thing to forget, and it makes a huge difference. And you know, if you are of legal age and are imbibing the beverage, a lot of extra water to help with that the next day is a very good idea. Because I'll tell you what, it's not fun to be at a con and have a headache and feel
It's
miserable.
true. There's a reason that all of our hotel rooms have little lip balm sticks in them, because it is a very, very dry hotel from 10 years back when I guess every year up until 10 years back when they used to have a pool.
Yeah.
And so everything in the building is built to suck the moisture out of the air because giant pool does that. But since they replaced that with a giant conference center, so now the dome just looks down on a smiling panelist instead of a pool, you know, it's still a very dry hotel. So definitely make sure that you stay hydrated and lip balm and water all the time. It will catch up with you.
There's also like hand lotion, which I use liberally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Phrasing.
Yeah, so
How about some more questions?
that's a pretty nice troll, Number. Yeah, question on the left over there, Number.
Thank you.
Gross, by the way.
Shut up.
Get yourself
It's not that gross if you hide it properly. Just clean up. So this is a question a number of us probably thought about, especially as nights wear on. Suggested etiquette for impromptu snuggling and glomping.
With people you know? Okay, so again, this is where sort of dropping the shell and talking to fursuiters. I talk in one of my suits that I have, but the rest of them I don't typically. At least ask. We do have a, what do we call it, our appropriate behavior conduct. No touchy, okay? Does that register in I mean, I know that's a thing that seems like it's more recently come to attention.
So
at
say that
conventions.
you want to offer a friend a cup of tea. For those who've seen this video. It really is
Wow.
Wow.
So, I think you will find most fursuiters are very happy to have their picture taken. Most fursuiters, with some exceptions, will be very happy to give you a hug if you ask. If you don't know the fursuiter already, please ask. I know we're not wearing giant badges that say yes, okay to hug, no, not okay to hug. Some fursuiters actually do wear giant badges that say yes, okay to hug, and that's probably a reasonably implied permission that you can go hug them without saying, no.
So, and just to clarify, it doesn't always have to be verbal, out loud. May I hug you, sir?
Yes, your hug has been received.
I'm sorry, can you guys please demonstrate for me, Woody, would you show a non-verbal way of asking for a hug from Cody, please?
Yeah, you give me a nonverbal here.
Show me what you got.
Good job.
It's bad, I have to pee.
Stand right over here, then. Gonna hug me behind a chair. All right, go for it. Give me. Yeah, all right. Give me a hug. That's fine. All right. Gross.
No extra charge.
Yeah, I know. It's not good for anybody up here. We're basically all losers now.
If you're gonna go anything beyond hugging, you probably should know the suitor and talk to them. And I mean, there's a. Whoa! All right, let's see. Is it after 10 p.m.? Because I think this just transitioned to an 18 plus panel. And if you take the time to talk to and get to know suitors, especially those who will talk to you in suit, also pay attention to their badge. I mean, not only so you can post their picture, but you'll probably spot the same person later when they're not in suit, and that's a great time to have a conversation with them when they can talk and say, hey, your suit's amazing, I love it. and maybe they will show you more of their suit. I'm gonna stop now.
I know, right? Please. You're Captain Innuendo.
All right, so now I get the hesitation from earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just him being out there. Maybe
I'm not on the stage.
I know
Much
that
easier
for
to
too
do
long
this down
to
here.
know that this wasn't going to be a thing. Any other questions from anybody else? Yes. Back on the left there.
Back and to the left.
What would be a good process for showing people your artwork if you're not established?
Wow, great question. You know how I said go hang out and talk to artists like in the lounge and out in the lobby and other places? If you're out there drawing, I'm not an artist. I always had a difficult time trying to find a good way to not interrupt artists while they're working. If you're an artist and you're out working in a public space, which is a great idea, or in the lounge, because people will inevitably want to take some interest in your work, look up every few minutes, look around, say hi to people. If people come in and you happen to notice in your periphery they're coming in, invite them to sit with you and you can show them your art. I don't know about the rest of you, but even today, I'm enthralled by the talent that artists, especially visual artists, have, and it can be very intimidating to approach an artist, especially while they're working, because I don't want to be that guy who's like annoying or bothering them while they're sort of in the creative process. So my invitation to you as an artist is make yourself welcoming to people who might be interested in what you're doing. And you might be surprised how many people would want to sit down and talk to you and see what's going on, because you may not feel like you're intimidating, but if you're drawing away, I probably really don't want to bother you.
That's a very good question.
That was a good question. I like that.
Any other questions? Yeah, one more on the left there, stubborn.
Do your job.
Also, you go through the artist alley and den and like share your stuff with other artists, because there'll be people hanging around established artists, and if you're having a conversation with an established artist, you may get to talk with their audience as well.
So, has anyone been far, even as decided to go, even want to do look more like?
Could you restate the question?
Sorry, I just wanted to say that.
Yes? See, that kind of a line like that is not easy to get out, you know, I mean,
Oh boy.
how long have you been planning that line?
3 questions ago.
Well
Three
done.
questions ago.
Well done. All right, any other questions? Yeah, a couple in the back there.
I think he's going to get trolled.
I love this. I'm hoping this is what happens. I hope they troll him just crazy.
Maybe you just want a nonverbal hug.
No. Okay. I don't know if this is a question for staff, but is there an art jam this year?
Is there what this year?
Art Jam.
No, there isn't this year officially, though people end up doing that stuff within the Furfest Lounge a lot. So we had one last year. We didn't have anybody who was able to do it this year. But actually, if it's something people wanted to help out with, we'd be more than happy to do it. But again, that just sort of happens at the Furfest Lounge area all the time anyway.
Oh my goodness, we almost missed like another awesome, great way to meet people.
Wait, what?
The volunteering, like volunteering for our info desk. And, Go Furries.
Yeah, that's right. I fail for not plugging that. Actually, if you are interested in helping out the convention, by the way, because we are volunteers, we'll take your help any way we can.
So if there's a panel that you don't see happening that you wish was happening, then maybe next year you could host a panel that you wish was happening, because then it would happen.
Yeah. And we'd be more than happy to help give folks pointers too. If you're interested in doing it, but you're just not sure about how you go about it, hit us up on our email, hit us on Twitter, hit us up at the info desk if you have questions like that. Absolutely happy to do that. I mean, again, the programming comes from you guys. We do some of the big events on stage, but most of the stuff that happens off the big stage comes from just people.
Check out panels, because if you have an idea of something you think might be interesting to other people, you might find some inspiration at another panel where you see someone talking and say, hey boy, I could draw on an easel. I could make a cool visual presentation to put up on my computer or phone or whatever and say, boy, I could really share that. And you may be surprised how many other people, again, share that interest, but there is no panel because one of you right here hasn't decided yet to put that panel on.
So I got a question. Who has a ham radio in here, just by a show of hands? Anybody have a ham radio? Anybody know what a ham radio is? Okay.
A radio made of ham.
It is a radio made of ham. Oh my God, that'd be so delicious. Bacon radio.
Yeah, you would say that.
I guess my point is, where I'm going is we are such a fortunate organization or community here that we're large enough that even a ham radio panel is probably gonna have 50 people in it tomorrow. So where I'm going with this is there's all sorts of, not even necessary furry specific interests in programming that can get surprisingly large numbers of people interested because that's just, they say the law of large numbers. It's a large number of people here. I don't know. I plug in because I do programming and I want to try and get as much cool stuff as possible, but again, we're demystifying the fact that when you come to these things, it looks like I'm coming to an airport and planes are flying. Now, it's a bunch of folks, we're just like you.
Right.
We're doing panels, we're volunteering, in a lot of cases we're flying by the seat of our bums. We try not to.
We're just making stuff up as we go.
Sometimes we are.
Oh, look, we should also mention all the gaming tracks. That's another great way to
Is anybody here into gaming?
Oh my God, how did I not think about that?
Duh.
There's an entire, there's an entire tabletop and open
Do we have any
gaming
ham
area.
radio now?
How many rooms
We
are
can-
dedicated just to gaming?
Well, no, so game, actually one of the things MFF, I argue, does very well is we have an awful lot of gaming opportunities in the economy. There's thousands of people who will go through tabletop gaming, video gaming, open gaming, Cards Against Humanity, all those other awesome kind of fun social things. That's also a great way, by the way, to meet people. Some of those Cards Against Humanity games that you play, you just show up and you just play with other people. It's a great way to meet people.
They don't let me do that anymore.
No, if ever you're banned for like 50 pages of reasons.
There's like, 4 rooms right now as we speak dedicated to tabletop gaming, digital gaming. There's a poker tournament tomorrow. Anybody play some poker? Yeah.
Charity poker too.
Yeah, get in on that. Again, a lot of these activities, you'd be surprised, there's a lot of activities embedded within the programming that also contribute to the charity, so you can go have fun and contribute to charity simultaneously.
Yeah. Woo! How did I not think
I
about
wasn't waiting for the amazement.
I didn't know. I was like,
My
what are
largest
the
track.
track here that are
It was
good?
literally
Be
my
like,
largest
oh,
track.
like all
I
that.
remember that. It could be the 3 or 4 hours of sleep last night. See, I'm not even here to do the 6 hours of sleep. I am a poor example. This is what happens. I don't care.
We get a
What
pass.
happens when you get 3 hours of sleep?
Show me what
I know, right? Hey, I like to party sometimes, and hey, there's always a time, hey.
That explains why I just go.
I know.
Yep.
All right, so what did we cover? We covered
Well, we talked-
discount. When you come to a convention,
Yeah.
don't forget about the discounts. Things like places like MFF actually go through the trouble of airline, train, other discounts. So since this is your first time and you may have missed out on that opportunity this time, things to keep in mind for the next time around.
Domino's
Watch out
Pizza
for
has a
discounts.
50% off discount right now. 50%. You can buy a large pizza for $8 right now. Just throw it around. Yeah, you can. You can.
And then you can
There's a
also
really
be-
good hospital nearby too. It's actually pretty good.
There's a liquor store who delivers to the hotel.
Oh, you were not supposed to say that, but yes, that's true.
Damn it.
Rosewood Liquors, by the way.
How many hours of sleep are you supposed to get? How many meals are you supposed to eat?
At least 2.
And how many showers at least should you take? Optional. Let's start with 1 and go from there. How about that? Don't forget about the mobile app, sked.furfest.org. It has the map and the programming list, and we will keep it up to date, so please
If
check
you
in on
forget,
that.
just flip your badge over. It's all on the back of your badge too. Yes, we talked about the programming spaces. A lot of the information's on there. The art show, the dealer's den, the big events that we've got in here. The Fursuit Lounge, the green room. The Furfest Lounge, where we're serving snacks and beverages. We talked about the dance competition, of course, our charity. Talked about trying to get you guys, if you're interested in helping out, please do. Even if you just want to do gopher stuff, we call it just running around helping us move things. There's a lot of logistic stuff that a lot of us do as well that we can definitely use help with, and that makes a big deal for us.
Did you actually notice the gophers popped in at one point to drop off one of our kiosks?
I in fact did.
I think that's very exciting.
I did. I hate you for that, Woody, but that's good.
That's fair, that's fair. So, you're also going to see these random little kiosks around. You'll notice one as you walk out the door. We're just kind of holding people's interest in certain things. So, if you were 5 rows back and could still smell codeine, Feel free to
Sorry.
hit the little sad face on your way out the door. Or,
I was just reminded another
How bad does Cody
how
smell?
bad does Cody smell today? It's the current question.
another secret. Some of you may have pre-regged. How many people pre-regged?
Oh,
Well, that's a lot. How many people didn't pre-reg? I'm surprised you're in here and not in line right now. If you may have noticed that there's quite a social activity happening called the enormous line for non-pre-reg.
no, the line right now,
Yeah, and
that's all for dealers then.
Yes, dude's in.
Oh, we had nobody reading your reg.
my bad.
That's all.
Anyway, I was just reminded that you can pre-reg for next year here. That's another quick secret. So you can do that here or online. Get it out of the way early at
It is discounted,
So I'm
If
actually,
you want that extra $5 for charity, you can get it right now by getting a discount on next year.
because I use Sked, because I think Sked is amazing. I just got a little like notification pop up on my phone saying, hey, guess what? In 10 minutes, you can meet the guests of honor in the grand ballroom from 2 to 3.
That would be all
Right
right
here.
It'll be right here.
So you're ready.
That's super convenient. I know where my next event's happening.
Exactly. You can even stay in the same spot.
Good. I probably.
Woody's gonna be here all day. Cody and I are leaving.
I'm gonna go eat.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming out.
Yes, thank you guys very much.
Enjoy the rest of your talk. Oh, and one last thing. If at any point you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the event, please feel free to email us.
Just approach us too. Just ask us questions.
Approach him or info@furfest.org.
Hashtag Furfest.
Hashtag Furfest.
Hashtag Furfest.
Facebook.
Hashtag Fursuit Friday.
Hashtag Cody Smells.
Hashtag Cody Smells. Hashtag Furfest.